Hello.
We are back.
Welcome back to French Fries and Feelings. It is
the beginning of January
Oh
2025.
my god.
We've been MIA for a little while.
A little while.
Life was lifing.
Life was lifing. How about you start first and tell me what
Woo!
we missed?
God, I don't remember the last time we recorded.
The Sunday after the election.
Yes, there was a
Whoa.
whole lot of feelings
There
there.
was so many.
And then just everything went downhill after that.
Just straight down the shitter.
Yeah. Oh God. For me, let's see. I passed my probation period at my new job.
Congratulations. We love to see it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay, why?
I mean, work is work. I'm grateful to have an income to support myself and my family and things like that, which is great. Still not sure about things there, but I'm writing it out. See how it goes. But it's heavy. You know, like I feel as if I'm not who I am. Like I feel like I have to hide who I am when I'm there, which is not okay.
Why do you feel that way? Not that I'm trying to get all like
no, for sure. Like I appreciate that for sure. Mainly I think it's like more of a cultural thing. Cultural as in culture, but culture like office culture as well.
So there's a disconnect.
Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned in previous episodes, but predominantly Caucasian office. There's like a handful of Black and brown people there. However, they're in different departments. Even though we're all in like visually within eyesight, still don't interact as much as previous jobs that I've had. So for example, like they decorated for the holidays. They had all of the things. Like they had Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas, which is great. It was a mishmash of things everywhere. So it was just like very chaotic. But the other day, my director's like starting to take stuff down. And she's like, oh, I'm so sad to take everything down. And I was like, well, you don't have to because, you know, Dia de los Reyes coming up.
True. Shout out to all the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, like we don't take our stuff down till after the 6th. Like it's still Christmas.
Correct.
It's still holidays.
That is correct.
And it was like blank stare. Like, what? What are you talking about? So I'm like, it's a holiday within the Latino community. Like it's still the holidays.
People don't know.
And what's crazy is like some of the other Latinos in the office, they just like let me talk like I was crazy. And I'm just like, so no one's going to back me up on this? Absolutely. Like no one's going to say nothing?
Nope. So
she's like, well, it's the holidays. So she took it as like, oh, I could keep my decorations up. But for me, I'm just like, you're not listening. So I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. But what made things a little better office-wise, we have a new hire within my department who is a Haitian woman. Lovely person, super, super sweet, very, very bright, very smart, well-seasoned in her career, has traveled the world 10 times over than I ever have.
What a queen.
And literally within like the first week, she's like, not sure how I feel.
In the first week?
The first week. And I was like,
that's rough.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just trying to test the waters. Like, what are you seeing that maybe I'm seeing? And everything that I was feeling and thinking, she was like instant. And it kind of made me happy, like kind of like trauma bonding kind of way. But at the same time, it was just like, at least we have each other now as opposed to before that I was in this by myself, like struggling to go into the office every day. So I was like, okay, cool. So that was that. That's work.
Okay.
And also, like, again, life was lifing. For me, the holidays are a little different this time around. My grandfather just made 1 year, like 2 weeks before Christmas. So that was tough. Like, you know, it's been a year and obviously 2023, I didn't have him for the holidays, but it still wasn't, like, sinking in that he wasn't here. So this past year, I was kind of like just going through the motions. Like I lost my grandfather, I was losing clients, I lost my job. Like it was just like loss after loss after loss. So this year, it was just like, ooh, everything just hit me.
Mhm.
And it was hard. Like I didn't want to do anything for Christmas. I didn't want to do anything for New Year's. Like I was home in my PJs. I'm very content with that. Um, so yeah, that was me the last month and a half, maybe.
You survived.
I
I'm proud of you.
survived. Thank you.
Life was also lifing for me.
Yeah.
Oh God. In the last episode, I kind of crashed out
Yeah.
because of the election, and I had a lot of feelings, and I have recovered, I would say, from that.
Yes.
And in terms of just life in general, I don't know if I mentioned this, but in the last episode, I think maybe a few days prior or a week prior, our family dog passed away.
You did
So that was
not.
very sad.
Yeah.
What a cow, what a moo girl, the happiest cow on the farm. She was a pit bull. She was not a cow. But she did have spots like a cow. And then, Thanksgiving came and it was pretty chill and just like relaxing, and Friendsgiving was fantastic, and I was able to like spend a lot of time with my family and friends. And then my grandmother has a best friend. They've been best friends since they were 12 years old.
Oh my God.
So they've been friends for 64 years.
That's such a blessing.
Yeah, because you don't usually hear
Yeah.
things like that. She passed away on December 9th, and she had been in the hospital and she was ill, and there's a lot into the buildup towards her passing, right? The center part of what led to her demise would be the loss of her daughter and like grief, right? And just a lot of other things that happened after her daughter passed away very unexpectedly in 2022. Yeah, it was 2022. And so she ended up hospitalized in late October.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So she was in this for a while.
Yes. So she was in the hospital since late October, just, running tests and seeing what's going on with her. It seemed more of like a waiting game. Like we were just waiting to see like how much time she had left, or, if there was any other way out of this situation.
Yeah.
And it's weird because in the last 4 years, I've lost people that I really cared about, and they all passed away on a Monday. I don't know what it is about Mondays.
Makes you have a whole new meaning of dreading Mondays.
Oh, yes.
Jeez.
Correct. But like, I would say the last, everyone passed away on a Monday. I don't know why, but whatever. So Monday, December 9th, I am getting ready for work, putting on my makeup, listening to my music, doing all the things that I do, and we get the call that she passed away. And we kind of, as a family, were prepared for, okay, if we have to go to Puerto Rico, like, if we find out she passed this day, like, we're going to go the next day, because in Puerto Rico, funerals are like within 48 hours, especially if, like, someone was like on their way to passing away and not necessarily like there's like an investigation or whatever. So as soon as we found out, had to email my job like, hey, brothers, LOL, not coming in this week. Bought the flights to Puerto Rico, and then we left that Tuesday, and we were there from Tuesday to Sunday. The funeral was Wednesday. The burial was Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was very, very quick. It was really sad to not only see my grandmother lose her best friend. And as someone who has very strong female friendships, it's hard to not put yourself in her shoes.
Oh, for sure.
And just imagine what that feels like, right?
Yeah.
And this is someone that
That's just family to you at this point.
It's not a best friend, that's her sister.
Right.
So it was sad for her, but then it was also sad for my mom and my aunt who grew up with her as a second mom. And my mom grew up with, my grandmother's best friend's daughter, and, they were the same age. My grandmother and her best friend were the same age. So it's like there was a lot of sadness, but also joy that she, one, is no longer suffering, and two, that she's back with her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird that in the middle of all the grief, you find moments where you're like, you know what? I'm happy that she's, no longer here. I'm happy that she's back with her daughter. Like, that's what she wanted.
Right.
That's what we wanted for her. It's also great to go back to Puerto Rico and be with family. Even though we didn't go for the best circumstances, it's always great to just sit around
and just be.
Do nothing.
Yes.
Just sit in the balcon in front of my great-grandmother's house and just watch cars pass by. I never thought that I would be fine with doing that, but I was. Just a nice breeze, cars passing by, people coming, to the house to say hey, dropping off some bread from the panaderia. Like, it's just straight vibes. It was great to have that moment with family. And also, I've never been to Puerto Rico right before the holidays or for the holidays.
It's very different.
So I was able to see all the Christmas decorations, and it just felt
like
good.
Home.
Oh my God.
I've never been during the holidays either, but I've heard stories growing up, and it's like that's something I definitely would want to experience. But I definitely feel you on just being when you're around family, because I experienced that right before New Year's. I went to Jersey to, to spend time with the family before the year was over, and being able to just disconnect and just spend time with my grandparents and just chill.
Yep.
It was the best feeling and the best reset that I could ever ask for, to go back into work the next day, to, start the year over. And it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Every time I go to Puerto Rico, it's like, I never want to leave. I can't wait till this podcast blows and we have all of this fancy schmancy money and endorsement deals so I can buy my little house in the campo and just plant some mango trees and live my life.
There you go.
So that was just a weird time. It was it almost felt like that week didn't happen for me, because it was just so much going on and a lot of emotions. So that happened, and then I come back and back to work and just trying to figure out work and what to do, and have the holiday party, which is always a great time at we're at work, and the day after the holiday party. So I came back from Puerto Rico the 15th of December, went to work that Monday. The holiday party was Thursday. Friday, I woke up and I was not feeling too well, but I had a doctor's appointment, so I was like, oh, let me just go, whatever. That Saturday, woke up feeling worse.
Oh, God.
And then I was like, let me just take a COVID test, just for funsies, for shits and gigs. Was not expecting it to be positive.
Awesome.
But it was. And I'm just fantastic. So
but wait, isn't that a thing at your job? After the holiday party, somebody gets COVID?
Yes. But it's I don't know if I got it from the holiday party or if I got it when I went to the doctor Friday morning, because I was definitely standing outside the bar Thursday night without a jacket on, and it was cold. So I could have just been a little sniffly from that, And then I was exposed to the pesky virus at the doctor's office because my PCP was definitely wearing a mask, and I was like, so we'll never know. The world will never know. But I definitely, as soon as I did the test, put it down, and I was like, okay, like let me just wait. Waited 5 minutes, looked at it. It was only one line, so I was like, oh, okay. I'm just like, I have a little cold, whatever. 15, 20 minutes later, I was like, you know what? You should probably look at it again. So I did, and there was a second line.
Oh, no.
So I had COVID for Christmas, which
Fun.
was not fun. Luckily, the bulk of my symptoms were actually before Christmas.
Okay.
So, like, I had not had fever for about 24 hours by Christmas Eve. But it was rough. I've had COVID. This would be the third time, and this was probably the worst one that I've experienced. So there's that, and I need a Christmas redo because I couldn't taste the food.
No.
It was
That's like the Olympics of
yes
holidays for
it was a tragedy.
us.
It was a tragedy. Do you understand what it's like to not be able to taste benny, coquito, potato salad, rice? I couldn't even taste the tres leches cake. What is going on? It was ghetto. 0 out of 10.
Heartbreaking.
I want a Christmas redo. I want all the same foods that were there.
Monday's Three Kings Day. Just saying.
That's true. I don't have time to buy in season of benny. Maybe I'll plan better. Maybe we'll do like a three kings.
Okay, so with all of that you had going on.
Yeah.
And now I'm assuming you're back in the office.
Sure. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Just doing the things.
How do you show up for others? Others meaning like your colleagues, your staff, your clients.
That's a great question. I think that I'm so this is really bad what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm so used to turning myself off to be on for other people, even in the time of grief and like, stress and emotional processing. That is kind of like an Olympic sport for me. Like I have a gold medal in compartmentalizing my grief and my stress and my emotions to ensure that I can show up for other people, that I can show up for work, that I can show up when I need to be there for others. It's not a good thing.
Same.
Not at all. And it's weird. And I think I might have said this in the first episode that we recorded, but when I'm in a place of high emotionality or like high stress, when all is said and done, I get sick, right? So I feel like I just came back from Puerto Rico. My grandmother's best friend just died, and I was just like so like on edge and anxious and just kind of heartbroken. And then once I'm back in the office and everything is good and I'm trying to get back on track, my immune system decides to fail me, and then I end up with COVID. So it never fails.
Yeah.
That something like that happens, and it kind of is like it forces me to just lay down.
Yeah.
It's like my body is like, girl, stop it right now. Park it here, lay down, watch TV for 3 days and eat soup or like snacks and just chill out.
Yep, absolutely.
So I don't know. It's hard to think about how to show up for yourself when
I think that's the hard part.
When you're trying to show up for others.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. But I can say that I will show up for myself in 2 weeks when I go on vacation.
Yes.
And
where are you going?
I'm going to Central America. I'm really excited. gonna go to Belize and to Mexico.
Fun.
I'm excited for Belize specifically.
My mom went last year. She said it was amazing.
Can't wait. Can't wait. But I plan on just laying on a chair
And zoning out.
As
you should.
Me, my Kindle, and a pina colada.
Yes.
And that's how I feel like I will recharge for myself. But life be lifing. And it's hard to get through the holidays when you're processing grief.
Oh, yeah.
What does processing grief during the holidays look like for you? Because you literally,
yeah,
as well as me, but you are processing grief from like the death of someone so like insular and a pillar in your family.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was that like for you?
Well, like I said, when he initially passed, he passed the 12th of 2023. But I think for me back then, I was prepared for it. Like I remember the beginning of the year, I had told everyone in my family, I was like, if he makes it past the new year, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
So I was prepared. What I was not prepared for, which still kind of like, I don't want to say bugs me, but sits with me to this day. The day or two prior to him passing, my cousin and I went to see him in the hospital. And I'm the firstborn grandchild, literally his twin. Like, I was his go-to person. That's who I was. And we walk in and you can just see like a blank stare on his face. And we're like, okay, that's not good. So we're like, hey, Grandpa, how are you? And we're like talking to him. And again, just blank stare. So we're like, something's off. So we ask him straight up, do you know who we are? And he says, no. Earth shattering. So I'm like, okay, cool. So of course, like I can't show emotion there because you just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Right, cool. Whole year goes by. So now this year, like everything, like I said, all the loss, everything settling in. And for me, dealing with all that was to isolate myself. Like that's how I deal with anything. Like I just need my space. Don't talk to me. Don't call me. Don't text me. Like let me zone out. And this is going to sound really, really bad.
Here we go.
My go-to show to just aimlessly watch.
Can I guess?
Go ahead. Go for it.
Is it a sitcom or a drama?
It's a drama.
Okay. Was it on like cable TV?
No.
Not on cable TV.
No. It's on drama. Basic television.
Basic television, yeah. A drama.
Mm-hmm.
Law and Order SVU.
There you go.
How did I know?
Like, how weird is that?
How did I know it was Law and Order SVU?
I don't know how or why I got so hooked on this show, but I started rewatching the entire series. From the beginning. So right now I'm on season like 18 maybe?
So there are like 85 seasons.
Right. So that was me like around his anniversary. Like, and like you, my body at one point, because I was supposed to go to see my grandparents in Jersey earlier in the month. And, you know, women things.
Mm-hmm.
My body was like, bitch, you're not going nowhere. Sit down.
Stay.
Like, I was out of commission for the entire weekend. Saturday and Sunday, my ass was in bed with heating pads and my dogs.
Hot.
And just
love that
zoned out on this show. Like, who finds comfort in this show? I think something's wrong with me, but that's a whole other story. So
but seriously, what is it about Law and Order SVU?
I really don't know. Like, I think for me, like, I didn't want to sit and laugh at a sitcom. Like, it was, for me, nothing's funny. I don't want to laugh right now. Yeah. I didn't want to cry.
That's also fair.
And, like, my go-to movie to, like, have a really good cry, A Walk to Remember, will always break me down.
Oh, my God.
Always.
You know what? That movie?
Right?
When I first watched that movie.
Like, I'm sobbing.
Oh, my God. When they were on the deck. The deck. Oh, my God. The dock. And they kissed for the first time. And she's like, I told you not to fall in love with me.
Yes.
Hysterical.
But that's hysterical. So, yeah. So, those are my things. So, the mindless, numb, I guess, show is SVU.
Okay.
Like, I can watch it, and, like, you know, some episodes are tearjerkers, and I'll shed a tear or two, but for the most part, I'm just watching this ridiculousness that I should not find comfort in, but I do. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what my go-to show is.
So, yeah, so that's how I process grief during the holidays.
You watch SVU.
I watch SVU.
Great. I don't know. I don't think I have a go-to grief show. I do have a go-to grief movie. And it's Pride and Prejudice.
I love that movie.
That is my favorite movie.
I love that movie.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the one. Well, I'm glad that you took care of yourself.
I'm working on it. I actually, full disclosure, one of my coworkers gave me a referral to BetterHelp. So I did my research.
Okay.
I haven't signed up yet, but
right. Progress.
I was excited that they have like a text or chat feature. So I don't necessarily have to be in person or like visually, like a Zoom kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I know for me, if I were to sit down and with all the things going on in my mind, have someone say, well, tell me about you, or what's going on with you, I'm going to instantly break down and cry and not say a word. Like, I will shut down. I cannot vocalize my words. Sentences don't make sense. Words don't make sense. But if I were to write them out, I'm a freaking wordsmith. Everything comes out. I'm fine. And I feel better. So that is my next step, to just continue on my mental health journey.
I have definitely been in sessions with people where, oh my God, I remember I was terminating with a client and this man cried like a baby.
Oh no. Because you were terminating?
The entire last session. Like, he knew that, like, I was leaving and he knew that this was our last session. And we had used several of our previous sessions to kind of process where he was. But in the last session, he cried the entire time.
Oh my God.
And I just had to sit there. And
yeah, I was going to say, how do you react to that? Because me, I'd cry with you. I'd break down. I'm that person. Like, if I see you crying, especially if I'm that close to you, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, no, that's not me. I think, like, maybe grad school really helped me pull it together.
This is why I'm not a therapist.
Yeah, it's rough out here for a therapist.
Oh, I'm sure.
You really have to.
You have to, like, ultimate resting bitch face.
Yes.
Oh my.
Well, not really. I personally like to bring parts of who I am into my relationship or my rapport with my clients, because I want them to understand that therapy and, like, therapists are not robots. Like, we're not just, like, emotionless robots and we just ask you a bunch of questions and whatever. It's okay to have moments in therapy where you just laugh about things that happen, you know, or you crack jokes. Like, it's life. Yeah. Sometimes you're gonna go into session and you're not really gonna have anything to talk about. You probably just want to talk about the gossip in the office, you know.
Ooh, that's always fun.
Yeah, and I do be hearing some gossip from other people's offices that I love. I love the cheese man from other people's offices. And then there are other times where it's like you have to have that emotionally cathartic experience, and just like, if you just come in and you need to cry, then you just say, listen, 45 minutes, I'm just gonna sit here and cry. Maybe you can ask me questions. I might answer in between sobs. And, like, great. If that's where you want me to meet you at, I'll meet you there. And then in the next session, we gonna unpack that. We will unpack.
I'll probably just start crying again.
No.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm in person, like, again, just as past experiences, not necessarily in therapy, but just, like, a friend. Like, if I'm having a bad day and a friend is just, like, a pat on the back, like, hey, do you need to talk? Or gives me a hug, that's it.
Rough.
I am done. I am crying. I am no longer speaking to anyone. Just leave me alone, and I will get back to you in about 24 to 48 hours.
On the ground.
Yeah. Like, it's so bad. But then I'll randomly, like, later send you a text or an email. Thanks, I needed that, whatever. And I'll unpack everything on my own, but it's just more of a, I need to come to you with what I'm feeling and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
on my own. Like, if you ask me about it, it's not gonna work at all.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Uh-oh. Am I gonna cry?
Maybe not.
Okay.
Why do you have to wait for other people to ask you how you're doing to have that emotional response?
I don't know, because I think it's more of a, like, that's, like, the last straw. Like, what is it? The
The
straw
straw
that
that broke the camel's
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, like, it's just, like, everything is piling on. Work is this, family's this, life is this, all of this stuff, and then that one sincere question is just like, "Oh my god, you actually care." Because, like you, I deal with clients not necessarily in a mental health kinda, well, yeah, but not in a therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am taking in so much of everyone's everything that you need to learn how to suppress your own crap for a little while, especially when you're walking into the office. Like, you're dealing with your colleagues, you're dealing with your supervisors and your directors, and then, I'm doing field work and I'm dealing with like 30 people's years of trauma and God knows what else is going on, plus their families, all this other stuff. So I'm taking that in all day, 5 days a week. Not including my own personal family 24/7.
Which is a whole separate.
Exactly. So then when that one person or persons ask, "How's your day going? How you feeling? How you been?" Girl, you if you had like a flashlight in my brain, you'd probably run away. Like, there's a lot. It's a whole lot. So when you're taking in so much stuff from everyone and that one question is asked, it's just like, for me, it's a more of a, I don't know how to answer that right now. I want to answer everything right now. Words don't make sense right now. So I'm just going to cry because that makes sense to me. But then it comes off as, oh my God, this lady's crazy. Something's wrong. Like, I need to find out more why she's crying. It's just like, no, you did nothing wrong. This is a me problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So does that mean that in the year of our Lord, 2025, you will be headed off to therapy land?
Yes, I will. I'm
Oh.
finally giving into this. And it's so crazy because I remember when I was in school, I had a professor, best professor I could have ever asked for. And he was so real and so raw. Like, so many times we would come into class and he's just like, I have tenure. I don't give a shit what y'all do. Like, I get paid either way. I was like, oh, heard you. Cool. But can you at least teach me? Because I'm paying.
Correct.
Great teacher. Amazing professor. And I remember the last day of class, he's like, well, how many of you are actually going into social work? And like a handful of us raised our hands because the rest was just trying to fulfill the requirement. And he's just like, bro, if y'all trying to make money, don't do this.
What?
But if you are going to do this, I highly suggest you yourself get a therapist.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, cool. Like, I can do this. And I've done this. I've been doing this for damn near 17 years. And I've known how to deal with things. But this past year, and I've only come to this realization literally like the day I was hanging out with my grandparents, when on my drive back home, I was just like replaying the year, replaying the day. And I realized like I was pushing so many people away because I had lost so much. So it was just like, before you leave, I'm going to make myself leave. So I was just like cutting relationships or just isolating myself. And it was just like, I can't keep doing that. Like, I need to do something. And that's when it was just like, all right, I need to talk to someone because this ain't it. So
Feeling lost and experiencing it the way you did in 2024, it's kind of easier to have nothing left to lose than to lose more.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
But you survived. And we're going to therapy and we're getting our shit together.
Yes.
What did you learn besides the weight of grief in 2024?
I learned I can't do it all myself.
Amen.
Yeah. Because I was definitely that person, particularly at work, where, I get a thought in my head and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to execute. But obviously other factors and other people need to be involved, particularly in our line of work. And it's just like, don't like that. I'd rather just do it myself. Like, please don't get involved. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Let me do it. But the job that I have now, I can't do it all. Like, they are big on delegating and, don't do it all, because that's where the burnout comes from.
Which is nice to have.
Yes.
And to work in a space where they acknowledge that, especially in the field of work that you're in.
Yeah. So I had to learn to take a step back over and over again. And my superiors would always tell me, like, every supervision, like, hey, let them do it. All you can do is make the suggestion. It's not up to you. It's not your job. It's not your problem, pretty much. So I'm learning to not have it all fall on me. So it's making things a little easier in every aspect for the most part, because now I'm taking that same advice into my personal life. Like, you can't do it all. You shouldn't have to do it all. You do what you can and let the chips fall where they may, for the most part. So that's where I'm at right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. For me, I would say I learned that not everyone deserves my compassion.
Love that.
I think that not just in 2024, but in the previous years, I would say in the last 5 years, I've learned that I need to stop being everything for everyone.
I love that.
Because even when you are everything for everyone or everything for one person, they're still going to find ways to just really stab you in the back.
Or do you ever feel like you're doing everything for everyone, but who's doing something for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's hard to deal with. That's hard to sit with.
It is.
Yeah.
It is especially hard when it comes to friendships. Like really long-term friendships.
Yeah.
I'm turning 30 this year, which is, I'm actually excited. People are like, oh my God, 30. I feel like the 30s are going to be the best years of my life.
As someone who's on her way out of her 30s, they were.
Great. I'm excited because I've worked so hard in my 20s. I've spent my 20s in school and working and internship and in school, sometimes all three at the same time, and just learning lessons and failing and, winning and failing again and winning. And now that I'm a few months shy of my 30th birthday, I can sit down and reflect, right? I can sit down and see, okay, this is what I lost in the last 10 years, but this is everything that I gained.
Absolutely.
And I lost so many people, not just in death, but in also like the end of relationships, end of friendships, that when I sat down and I thought about all the people who would be around me in my 30s, or like, when you get married and you think about who's going to be at your wedding, like, you have to eliminate these people from the dreams that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's hard to reshape your life when you lose people, because you feel like you have to fill a void. But at the same time, it's like, well, life goes on. We learn something from everything. But it's hard. It's really hard to learn who deserves your compassion, who deserves your love, your friendship, your space, your time.
Absolutely.
Your mental energy. Because I just be giving out my mental energy for free. And I'm tired. But I think that especially in 2024, I learned that not everyone deserves my compassion, my time, my strength. People are going to take advantage of me no matter how nice I am, how giving I am. And I have to stop thinking that people treat others the way I treat them, which is very naive of me to think. Like, I'm like, oh, like, they would never do that to me because I would never do that to them. But, like, no, girl, you're stupid. People are shit sometimes.
I get that 100%.
And I'm happy to say that at the beginning of this year, I'm in a good space with all my friends and my family, and there's so many good things coming up for me this year. Like, a lot of travel. We're really, like, getting the ball rolling with this podcast.
Yes.
Turning 30. I'm getting my second master's degree this year.
Love this.
Maybe I'll get a new job or some more money. Just learning a lot so that in the next 10 years, when I'm sitting down right before my 39th birthday, I'm like, girl, oh my God, let's think about what you learned in your 30s. That I can say that I experienced more than I learned.
I like that a lot.
I'm ready to experience. I'm tired of learning. I want to live.
As you should.
Amen. Amen. And that's that. I can't wait for this podcast to actually be out and live and to have guests. We're aiming to have guests in our next episode.
Yes.
To actually start hearing from other people and their experiences in our field of work and how they process their own feelings.
Yeah.
But also what kind of French fries they like. Speaking of which, you brought French fries today.
I did.
Please tell everybody what happened with your French fries.
So on my way to the studio, I have not eaten like at all today.
Self-care is the best care.
It was like the typical Saturday in a Latino household. So it was the limpieza, it was the cooking. We didn't cook yet. No cooking. But we did do compras. We went grocery shopping.
Did you mop? Was there Mark Anthony playing in the background?
No. Well, I left my mom cleaning, so I don't know what she's doing.
She's definitely Tana Gabriel right now.
Probably. But we did do groceries like all morning. And the thing is, like, for me, I really feel like I'm a viejita because I've been doing this since my 20s. I love grocery shopping. Like, I have the apps, I have the coupons, I have the discounts, like,
my God,
all about it.
I love that for you.
It's the weirdest thing, but that is my happy place, like going to a grocery store, and not just any grocery store. Like, I live in the hood, born and raised in the South Bronx. Well, not born, raised in the South Bronx. And I've learned that local grocery stores, the prices are ridiculous compared to out of state, upstate grocery stores. So I travel for my groceries.
Okay. Where do you go?
Today I went up to Stu Leonard's and Little.
I love Stu Leonard's. Yes. Have you had their orange juice?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we went there today. So I was very excited about it. So we did that, went to PetSmart, like did all the things that we have enough food for quite a few weeks, which makes me happy that I don't have to like go out every week. Cool. But in the mix of all of that, and then rushing home to get ready, and then coming down here to come to the city, actual food to eat didn't exist. So I stopped in at McDonald's, and I got like one of those deal meal things, double cheeseburger, and it comes with fries. So this is the very first episode of the new year that we actually have French fries in the room with us.
Yay!
They are our featured guests, apparently.
Fries and perfect hydration water.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Unless you want to. Then fine.
I mean, we can talk.
We can talk. Hit me up. Hit Natasha. French fries and feelings.
So yeah. We'll see what happens moving forward, because it's about to be some stuff going down.
We have so much shit to unpack in 2025.
We got this.
We do. Do we? We do. We do. We do. I feel like I had to convince myself for a second. We do. We got this.
We want to got this.
Yes.
That's so grammatically incorrect.
Want to got Oh, we should get that on a t-shirt.
That would be hilarious.
We want
to got this.
I love it.
And that's it.